Hello and welcome to the Stress Mastery Podcast. This is the Saturday episode, and I am your host, Peggy Romero. I thank you for joining me today. This week we've been talking about growth, including, but of course not limited to, like mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health, growing on purpose. I guess for me, if I'm not growing, I don't really feel alive. There's something missing from my life. I don't know if everybody feels like that, but it reminds me of the quote in Shawshank Redemption, get busy living or get busy dying. You got to be moving forward. Growth is necessary to feel alive. And I tried on my own to grow, to become a better version of myself for a long time. And I must say, I did have some success. But I thought that I would take this episode to share with you guys some of the ways that Stress Mastery has helped me, because it can help you too. And this is not inclusive because there's so much more. It would take hours for me to tell you, and we just don't have time. But I've become very aware of my capacity for forgiveness through Stress Mastery. I'm extremely forgiving. I guess I really always have been forgiving. And I've always believed that my sins were forgiven and that we should forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive others if you want to be forgiven. But also turning the cheek made me a bit of a doormat to several people in my life. And that's not the answer. But neither is burying pain, guilt, regret, and all that other stuff. Going through coaching, I did the shadow work. And yeah, it really hurts to pull that stuff up. I cried, and I decided for once and for all to release all the negative energy that I was carrying. I didn't have a reason to carry the pain with me anymore. And neither do you, by the way. I looked into those recesses, and I intentionally dug it up. I wanted to let the stuff go that I'd pushed down there so long ago. It was like I had pain in every nook and cranny. I decided to forgive. Remember, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's so important that Jesus even said that out loud on the cross. And since he was sent to earth as our example, how we should live, how we should forgive, then that's how I want to forgive. They know not what they do, and hurt people hurt other people. And unfortunately, the world is full of hurt people. So spend some time intentionally forgiving people. Let it go. It's only hurting you anyways. Gratitude has helped me grow. Finding joy in everything brings us peace. It helps you look at things differently. Be grateful for everything, and you can always find something if you try. First Thessalonians says, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you. Being thankful, such an easy thing, because you can be thankful anytime that you choose to be for almost anything. Start writing down 3 things every night before you go to bed and watch your attitude change. You'll grow. Just a little thing like that can also bring you closer to God. Speaking of that, I was stuck for years and not being able to grow spiritually, but Stress Mastery has helped me with that too. So I'm not saying that I didn't have a great relationship with God, because I absolutely did, but I was stuck. I was stuck on a certain level, and I had wanted more for years because I knew there was more. I wanted peace. So in the Catholic Church, every week of your life you hear, my peace I leave you, my peace I give you. I wanted that peace. I had that peace. That was like acceptance and brotherly love. But when I started studying the Bible in my mid-30s, I found that the next verse said, I do not give peace to you as the world gives it, and do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not be afraid. Well, that sounds like a whole lot more than just brotherly love, doesn't it? Especially when you're a young, mom, afraid. And I was afraid. I was afraid. I had a troubled heart about many things, most of the time. And I wanted, probably needed, that peace. And I decided that I must have that peace. And that's when I started wanting to live a life in peace, but it took me years to get there. I finally have the peace that allows you to be still and to not be afraid. And Stress Mastery can show you that too. I've always liked helping others. It's just my nature. And so I can see solutions in front of me that the person might not be able to see. So lots of times I'm just happy to help. But it didn't matter how many people I helped, how much money I, donated, or how many hours I volunteered, or what church I attended. No matter what I did, I could not find that peace. It was as if I just couldn't do enough. I was never good enough. And it was because I felt like I was never enough, unworthy of that grace and that peace of God that I was looking for. You may not have seen it. My coworkers, family, and friends might not have ever known that. But I knew it. I knew every little thing that I've ever thought. I know my secrets. I know my dark side. I was fully aware that if you knew me, you'd see my past, you'd see who I really was, and you'd find me out. And it would come crumbling down because I was just an imposter. I was a ne'er-do-well, as my mom called it. Just plain old good-for-nothing white trash. Fortunately, that is the past, and I don't carry that stuff anymore. I have grown, and I've become closer to God, closer to Jesus, and I was able to let all that go. I'm exactly who God created me to be, and I don't have to do anything. Through my growth, I've discovered awareness. I see that little sinister devil that runs the show if I let her, my ego, the inner critic. I call her Lucy, the female version of Lucifer himself. She seeks to kill, steal, and destroy. She hates peace and joy and love, the very things I'm looking for. But you see, she is not me. She is, or was, every negative program I've ever learned or was taught. You can't go to college because you're poor. You don't have what it takes to excel in life. You'll never be good enough for that. You're not pretty. You're not smart. You're not special. You're not loved. You are selfish. There isn't enough for you. You were not born to the right family. You come from the wrong side of the tracks. You're stuck here and you'll stay stuck. There's absolutely no way out. Be happy with what you have, Peggy. Why can't you just be content? Girl, not only were you not born with a silver spoon, you're never going to have enough money to buy a silver spoon. Understanding that she is not me, creating awareness of that voice, that one thing changed everything for me. It was the answer to many of the things that I had asked myself for years. Like, why do I feel like I have an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other? Why did I hear that still small voice, feel convicted, have that desire in my heart, and then turn around and do the opposite thing of what I intended to do? I didn't do what I knew I should do so many times. Ego, Lucy, defending my beliefs, or fighting for what's mine. Or I'd just play it safe. I mean, I played it safe so many times. I missed many opportunities because I was just afraid to do it. I didn't have confidence in myself. My growth, my newfound awareness, has tamed my ego so much. So Lucy is, I guess, she still chatters, but she's more quiet. She's a little more gentle. We have a little bit more of an understanding. I don't let her run the show anymore. And of course it takes time. But how I felt when I learned that she wasn't me was a miracle. I felt kind of two-sided before that. So it was amazing that everybody had that. It was like a burden that lifted off me that I can't even explain. What a relief. I was able to embrace that understanding with all my heart. I was finally able to see and understand myself so much better. With that, I started the process of forgiving myself. I mean, why not? Even I know not what I do, right? For all those mistakes and shortcomings, the failures, my forcefulness, the pain that I caused myself and the pain that I caused others. Stress Mastery has helped me step out of that. If you allow yourself to grow, you will soon find that you aren't stuck anymore. You will learn to grow. You're no longer the same person today as you were yesterday. And tomorrow, you'll be even better. You see, I have always wanted to be a better person. I just didn't know how. I thought it was impossible to become a better version of me. But ta-da! Here I am. I'm not her anymore. I decided to take my power back. I stopped listening to my ego. I created a life where I decide what I think. And if it doesn't serve me, I choose not to think it, and I don't think it. Awareness is a superpower. I see Lucy, and I don't let her drag me down. And this doesn't happen overnight. Growing always takes time. Well, except grass. Have you ever noticed how fast that grass grows when you plant seeds? It's amazing. Anyways, I've had growth in all areas of my life. I was raised in lack, so I felt comfort making money, and then I gained a little bit of security from it. I realized that I don't need a ton of money to make me happy, so still, always self-authoring, always self-authoring, always self-authoring. I have to create a new version where I'm allowed to have a whole bunch of money and I'm still a great person. You have to make up your goals as you go along. Step by step, you grow. Thanks to my growth, when a business opportunity comes, I can ask myself, now, does this bring me closer to my goals? Does it bring me further away? Or is it just, taking up my time? Do I really want to spend that much time developing that? So lots of times the answer is no, and I can just walk away because I have a clear vision for my life. I'm helping people get out of fear. I'm helping people believe in themselves. All the experiences that I've had have qualified me to do this, and I want to share it with people. I'm grateful for what I've gone through. On the job training to dig yourself out of a ditch of life, it's a great skill to have. I will stay connected to my purpose of raising others up. Growth is one of my values, so I have no doubt that I will always want to grow. I am and will stay connected to my heart because I finally get it. That's where God lives, and I want to follow his lead. So I'll make money doing what I want to do, but not for things and buying a whole bunch more material possessions. I know myself well enough to know I'm happy to work for more experiences. I love to travel and visit and be able to move about freely in peace. Another aspect of growth is making a decision to take better care of my health, which of course I learned from Stress Mastery. I've always been healthy, so I just took it for granted. And I assume that this decision came to take better care of myself with the decision I made to see myself as valuable. Finally, I have self-worth. Yes, finally, I have self-worth. And believe me, I'm fabulous. I'm exactly as God created me. So I'm a masterpiece. Guys, we have to stay connected. The source, God, the whole universe, there's a plan, and it's a great one. He has a purpose for all of us. He knew who you were before you were born. Are you connected to the purpose that he put in your heart? Do you even know what it is? If you don't, you got to find out. We all should know what on earth we are here for. Do you feel fulfilled? Are you making good use of your gifts and your time? Are you growing or sitting idle? I know many people have a dream that they're afraid to pursue. Like you're just stuck. And it makes me crazy. Fear of failure comes from the ego. Remember, kill, steal, destroy. Kill your dreams, steal your hope, destroy your future. He does it to lots of people. Please don't let it be you. Do not let the spark in your heart sit dormant. Allow it to grow. Fan the flame. Dream the dream. Where are you on your journey? Moving forward on the path, or are you stuck in the muck? Are you living connected to your heart, or are you living in the valley connected to your head, listening to your ego, too afraid to move? The ego will always stunt your growth. Take a step every single day, and don't forget where you're going, or you'll stray. Moving forward creates momentum, step by step, moment by moment. We always have an opportunity to grow. There's always another chance. Living in willingness is another way that I've grown. Another wonderful thing that I learned from Stress Mastery. I love to try new things, new adventures and ideas. It's funny when Bill reminds me how close-minded I once was because I never thought that I was. I just couldn't see it. When we first met, I'm like, okay, I want to work with you, but don't talk to me about this and don't say that. And I already have a great relationship with Jesus Christ, so you don't ever need to bring that up. And please don't tell me about praying or, prayer, how to pray, because I already know. Don't tell me anything. I already know. I still remember when he wanted me to meditate in Green Focus Power Hour. I was freaked out. I was scared because I wasn't already liking Bill and enjoying my coaching and feeling like this spark and being able to grow. And then I'm like, gosh, this guy's probably trying to get me in a cult. He better not want me to follow Buddha or anything like that. But thankfully, since I have a growth mindset, I enjoy learning. So instead of just fighting him on it, I started looking at the Bible to see what it said about meditation because I knew the Bible talked about meditation. And I have to admit, he was right. Sure enough, I've become closer. I've got a closer connection to God. And that's what I've always wanted. Be still. Let your thoughts pass and keep your connection to God. It's beautiful. And guess what? After 35 years in the Catholic Church, 25 years non-denominational, and I'm talking immersed in the churches, you guys. I'm not just talking about going on Sunday. I'm talking about Bible study, being a Sunday school teacher, in charge of outreach and evangelism, working with stewardship. I was the bookkeeper at my church for years. I was connected to the church. I was connected to God. But with meditation, I grew. I learned something new, and now I finally found that deeper connection that I've always wanted. If you've ever read my book, you'll know that I've always had a deep connection. I've had a great relationship with God. But like I said, I knew there was more. I knew it. I felt it in my heart. And finally, now I've experienced for myself. Which leads me to another aspect of growth. I'm okay if you don't like me. I never thought I'd see the day that I'm okay not fitting in, because I've always wanted to fit. You know, the one of belonging, the one of approval. I've had several groups of friends at the same time for a long time. I had my church friends, my old party friends that I met when I was young. I had my work friends, and of course my big family. But you know, Christians hang with Christians and partiers hang with partiers. Remember high school? The stoners, the jocks and socias? That's what we had at our school. I've always been able to fit into any of the groups, and without even changing my hat. I didn't even have to pretend to be somebody different. I didn't have to act differently with my church friends, because I'm the same no matter who I'm with. I didn't drink just because I wasn't with my church friends. Once I quit drinking and partying and smoking, I still hung out with my old friends. I just didn't do that. And people don't even notice for the longest time that I didn't drink, because I can still like stand on a table and dance and sing, stone sober. I guess I'm saying I'm fun no matter who I'm with. Sorry. But I did have a great need to be liked. I always felt as long as I wasn't a hypocrite that I was okay straddling those lines. But you know, actually it isn't okay, because I still had a big want of approval. I didn't want to let go of those people. You know, you have to have the right clothes, the right hair. You have to have enough money to be able to do what the other people in the group are doing. But just because I couldn't see that I was not exactly being me, it doesn't mean that it wasn't true, right? So growth creates change. It raises your energy. And so you start seeing things differently. Living in a place of willingness, awareness, and peace, they look differently than when you're living down in the mountain, or down in the valley, excuse me. It's if you can picture being up on a mountain and looking down and seeing where you once were, that's what it is. I'm not insinuating that I think I'm above anybody, so please don't misunderstand me. I'm not looking down on anybody. I'm just talking about being better than I was, just better than the person who I used to be energetically, because I'm also totally aware that who I am is who I've always been. So I can see that's growth. I'm able to respond now instead of react. I'm able to let go of fears that once bound me, turmoil and strife. Long before Bill gave me this platform, he interviewed me for a podcast. Oh my gosh, I still remember. I was so excited. I was honored. I was so nervous. I couldn't believe that he would even interview me or think anybody would want to hear what I said. So anyways, this group of friends gets together and we're going to listen to it and celebrate. And as soon as the intro came on and Bill said the science and spirituality of stress mastery, the host got up and turned it off. Turns at me, looks and says, "You're into spirituality now? Well, I'll have no part of that." I'm like, hey, we're all spiritual beings. I mean, we're Christians. The Holy Spirit lives in us. That is spirituality. We're all spiritual, no matter what you want to call it. And he stood there and said, "Well, is anyone hungry? I'm going to start the barbecue." We've never discussed it again. Did it hurt? Yes, of course it hurt. My friends let me know that day they're not going to support my new journey. They couldn't hear me. Want of approval, want of security, want to belong. Fortunately, I'd already grown enough by then, too much that I wasn't going to shrink back. I already felt better. I could already see the light ahead, And I knew that I needed this journey for my soul. I was already on my way. So are we still friends? Yeah, we're still friends, but not like we once were. Well, like I believed we were. Because good friends allow you to be you and support you. You see, that's growth. I don't have to fit in with them because I care about me. I don't need their approval anymore. And once I did, once I needed their approval desperately. Today, I'm okay without it. Unfortunately, the same thing happened with my husband. He didn't want me to grow at all. I guess he liked me the way I was, edgy and stressed out. I don't know why. The difference is that not only did he refuse to support me, he wanted to pull me down. He wanted to keep me there. He refused to let me change. So we finally came to the point where he made me make a choice. And in the end, I chose me. I chose my growth. And we're still friends now. We're just not life mates. Finally, I see that I am valuable and I deserve love and respect. I chose me. And man, it feels so good. And that's growth. Before this, I would have never, ever done that. You guys, you have no idea what I would have put up with. All my relationships are different now. If you heard the podcast this week, you heard that my little brother died recently. My siblings and I are going through it now. I mean, it's tough. We were once 7, and now we're 5. I understand my sisters see my growth. I'm not included in every phone call that they had, but I am called when they need my energy, because I usually have high energy. So they're happy to call me when they need me to lift them up. And I don't mind. That's my job. They also call me for fun stuff. I just went over there for my brother-in-law's birthday party last night. But I understand that they see it, and they know I'm not going to hang down in the muck with them, talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm not going to stay in the darkness talking about what could have been or what ifs. Now I'm more of a voice of reason, of grace, and of love. I love them the same. It's just different. Actually, you know what? I probably love them more because my heart's more open. But all my relationships have changed as a group and each one individually. I do not react the way I once did because I'm not the same person. Everything's changed because I've changed. So one last thing about growth, guys. Understanding your purpose and values has helped me maneuver life's ups and downs. I'm vitality purpose, and I have a strong growth value. So I don't like to be stagnant. Staying the same makes me feel awful. So I can't imagine how many of us just stay stuck in our lives. I don't know how many people have a growth value because here at Stress Mastery, our data is skewed. It's not a random sample because the people who come in and do the purpose exercise are wanting to change their lives. They're wanting to understand themselves better. So those of us in Stress Mastery, or if you're listening to the podcast, you want to change. So we don't have an idea of how many people have growth for a value. But if you do, and you're sitting in stagnation, then it's going to hurt you because it feels so great to move and to grow. One foot in front of the other, step by step. Every day is a new opportunity. Every minute you have another chance. I love the fact that you can really be anybody that you want to be and do anything you want to do. Just like me and millions of other people, you can find your way out of the darkness. And Stress Mastery has helped thousands of people. No matter where you are now, you can make a decision to grow. No matter what heights you've reached, there's more. No matter how low you've been, you can rise up. My challenge to you today is never stop dreaming, never stop growing. Why would you want to fall short of your potential anyways? I know I don't. When I get to heaven and God asks me, what did you do with the gifts I gave you? I believe I will boldly reply, well, God, I'm glad you asked. That's it for today's podcast. I'll be praying that you find a tidbit that you can take to heart today that will help assist you in your growth. Remember, our mission here is to create a shift in the planet, and you can join us on the mission by simply like, share, and subscribe. The links are right below the show notes. As always, until next time, stay inspired.